Listen, ladies and gentlemen, times are tough. You've been stuck inside for so long, your hair's on its way to high-five your nipples, and you're trying to bribe your cat with a pouch of mystery meats to fetch you a couple of beers from the nearest virus breeding ground. Or is that just me? And during times like these, we all need to keep ourselves entertained to fight back the endless dread. And aside from playing games, I've been watching movies. Big ones, small ones, and some I've even been watching with friends. Those movies in particular are one of my favourite subcategories. Bad ones. And I say that with as much love a human being can realistically put behind the word. Today, I would like to take a look at one of those movies. Not in a particularly serious way. I won't even qualify it as a review. I just want to have fun here. Just open it up and stare whimsically at all of its naughty bits. Ooh, outrageous. Now, on a serious note, long-time viewers are understandably going to be a little confused, breaking the chain from Japanese games to something I bought it for 50p off Amazon. And truth be told, after my last video, I found myself in a massive creative slump. I hit some of the worst burnout I've experienced in years, and I was quite frankly pretty miserable. And I didn't want to be miserable doing something I love. So I decided to take a break during July, and I wanted to return with something not too heavy and make a Halloween video approximately 3 months early because I've lost all semblance of control in my life.
Please help me. I do not YouTube know how to do it.
A nice dose of stupid to dilute my regular routine. And if you end up enjoying the video, then I have a whole shelf filled with this dumb shit. Trust me, I wasn't lying when I said I loved this kind of stuff. Before I begin, I of course want to thank my patrons for helping support the channel and all of its endeavors. Doing experimental stuff like this is definitely a risk with YouTube, but knowing I have you guys backing me up makes me feel confident enough to give it a damn good shot. Link is in the description if you want to help out the boy.
Also, go follow me on Twitch if you want to see me off of YouTube. I stream almost daily and I'd love to see some new faces.
And finally, I'm going to drop a warning if you feel like watching this in your spare time. As a lot of these B-movies tend to do, there are scenes of sexual assault in this, and I won't be showing them for obvious reasons. Whilst they might be embarrassing in their own right, I still think you deserve the heads up if that kind of content makes you uncomfortable. So with that out of the way, grab your vampire bats and your skulls as we dive into Goth 2003. One of the strangest misguided looks into gothic culture I've ever seen. First things first, no, you are not seeing things. The movie is indeed in 4:3 for some reason. Not like I'm one to judge, considering some of my older content, but this does mean we're going to need something to fill in the gaps. Perfect. Goth starts with a young girl named Chrissy waking up after having a heated bolognese moment. However, after a few measly seconds, a revelation dawns on her.
That wasn't bolognese at all. It was murder.
A surprise boy drops out from behind the door and boom, flashback to where it all began.
You can tell she's a goth because she has skulls.
So Chrissy is busy getting changed for a big night out at a local nightclub with her boyfriend. Boom. Now you see, this name is genius because if you remove one of the O's, you get bone, which comes from skeletons. And if you remove this, you get this, which is very frightening. So Chrissy and Boone move from their apartment to the venue, where they enjoy the music and hang out with extras who are clearly very awkward about putting their whole arm into the rock-on motion.
Come on, put your backs into it.
Still seeing that one chick, what's her name?
Chrissy, yeah.
Chrissy, yeah. Cute little ass on her, man.
Hey, this girl's different. What can I say? She's got something going on up here. She's real serious. I kind of dig that.
Oh yeah, you know what I say? As long as she's got something going on down here.
Where are your parents? But then, out from the shadows slinks a dangerous creature. A slippery, seductive snake of Satan. Someone who very well might be the wrench to disrupt the well-oiled machine of Chrissy and Boone's relationship.
I don't think I've seen you before.
No, I haven't seen you either.
Well, you know, in this small world, you go to enough clubs and shows. After a while, you start to see the same people. Well, nice to meet you. I'm Goth.
Yeah, me too.
That's my name, Goth. Goth.
You serious?
Yes, this young lady's name is in fact Goth, or as I like to call her, Goth, or the Chav version of this film where she's called Shav. By the way, editor's note, I guess. Whilst writing the script, recording the audio, and editing the video, I genuinely thought they spelled Goth with the letter E, hence why I decided to call her Go throughout the video. Turns out, this is a symbol they thought was cool, and just happened to look like the same font as the tattoo in question. I learned learned something interesting today. I'll still be calling her Goth for your benefit, as the word goth is thrown around so much in this movie, the word will lose all meaning 5 minutes in. She seduces Chrissy with the prospect of
ad-friendly pollen,
which she can apparently take for free. The substance is called white light and can supposedly give the user a feeling of a near-death experience. She mulls over this, quite frankly, terrifying idea before remembering she has a boyfriend who might want to take it as well, and runs to go get him.
Now there's this woman, Goth.
Yeah, which one?
No, that's her name. She has it tattooed on her chest. She's some punk dominatrix or something.
Or I don't know, maybe perhaps a goth? The couple anxiously waits in the alleyway where Goth told them to meet her, their anxiety almost making them leave early. However, they're interrupted by a couple of muggers, one of whom I could have sworn I recognized from somewhere, and holy shit, then it hit me.
What the hell is that?
Well, it ain't Barney the Purple Dinosaur.
Thankfully, Goth comes to their rescue, slapping the guy's head like a big boiled egg and attempting, and failing, to catch up to the second due to her platforms.
Who are you?
Goth.
You're Goth?
Yeah.
Now that Chrissy and Boone essentially owe Goth with their lives, she now pressures them to take white light, sending them into such a good trip that it knocks them out, reawakening in my actual bedroom when I was 13 years old.
You can tell she's a goth because she has skulls.
This, as it turns out, is the inside of Goth's van. When questioned about where they are, Goth replies with,
"Oh, this is Goth. Everything you see, everything you feel, it's all me."
So now we have a story where two goths go to a goth club where they meet a goth called Goth who takes them into a van which is the physical embodiment of goth. Can I just say, this video is very difficult for someone who can barely pronounce his THs. The physical embodiment of goth also means learning about all of the top otaku hotspots in Tokyo apparently, and why am I not surprised? Catch her at Comic-Con doing caramel dancing, I guarantee you'll see her there. Boone, seemingly fed up with this whole charade, attempts to leave, but Goth gets in his way. She will not allow either of them to leave under any circumstances, until they finally understand what it truly means to be a goth. On that note, let's talk about Goth, or I'm sorry, Goth. Now, I understand that Goth is meant to be the villain in this film. She's meant to be someone you don't like. But I think I dislike her in a way which wasn't really intended by the scriptwriters. Goth gets under my skin more than any fictional character in media. What they have essentially done is condense that kid who hung out with you in high school and have reshaped them. You know the one who tried a little too hard to be broody, would quote deep-sounding things without having a proper grasp of what they actually meant, and wanted to read a monologue as Heath Ledger's Joker in their drama class because, let's be real, the role was made for them. I would know because I was that kid.
I'm the Joker, baby!
If anything, and I know this tape may come across as stale, but I can't think of a better comparison, so please forgive me. But do you remember a little story called My Immortal? If you don't, then my friend Red Bard is Cool has recently made a video deep diving into the entire history of it. I even have a voice cameo. Ooh, exciting. But Goth reminds me so much of Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way that it gave me whiplash. That mid-2000s edge, the entire goth aesthetic, disliking posers.
So you can see what goths really do, while posers are safe in their bed. Only if you accept these 3 rules can you truly call yourself goth.
Afraid of a little danger? I thought you were goth. Call yourself goth?
Call yourself goth?
I mean, I don't need to say any more, do I? If you found Ebony annoying simply by reading the story, imagine if she was given a movie where she speaks words.
Goth.
And has the flesh of an actual human being, supposedly. I hope you all understand my stance now, and I'm sorry if I upset any of the Goth stands out there, but, you know, it needed to be said. At this point in the story, Boone starts getting a little frustrated, for obvious reasons. What with the whole kidnapping situation and assaulting a random man who she picked off the street because she's a genuine scumbag piece of shit. But Chrissy seems to be kind of into it, laughing along with all of Goth's highly illegal activities. Boone has this great speech here about what it truly means to be goth, and I'm just gonna let it play. It's awe-inspiring.
Being gothic is about tolerance and acceptance of other people, how they choose to live their lives. It's about seeking true love and never-ending passion, all right? About not being afraid to experience life, even if that freaks people out a little bit, all right? Sometimes you find pleasure in pain, or piercings, or fucking drugs, or fetishes, and that's okay. But it doesn't mean that it gives you the right to inflict pain on other people, okay? You don't get to just go around and beat the shit out of innocent people.
Please clap.
Oh, I forgot about the 3 rules of being goth, which, trust me, are barely important at all, and are mainly there for Goth to throw the poser card out and to accidentally point out her later hypocrisies.
Rule number 1. Embrace the darkness. And rule number 2. Kill your fear. And rule number 3. Live for death.
Skulls. So Goth takes Chrissy and Boone to a sketchy massage parlor for you-know-what, implying that Boone sometimes thinks about fucking other ladies, to which I reply, so? She tries, and fails, to be intimidating, but this still means security needs to be called. John Wick appears to take out the trash, but Goth overpowers him with ease. She asks that the girls come out, and we get our roster.
Anna, Mello, Angel.
Chrissy, Frank.
Nice to meet you, Frank. Now fuck off.
Don't be mean to Frank, you fucking witch. The man's a legend.
Back there trying to crack a nut.
Anyways, long story short, Boone is required to sleep with one of these girls to prove he's a goth. Yeah, Goth's entire motive in this film is nebulous at best. I don't understand how any of this proves you're part of a subculture, but I guess I'm a poser. A very sweet lady offers to guide Boone's hips, and they have extremely gratuitous sex, which YouTube would absolutely slap my ass over, so I hope you enjoy whatever footage I decided to play instead.
That's so Pepe. For decades he lorded over the avant-garde.
Chrissy is not happy about the whole exchange, despite being really up for it a few minutes before, but whatever. She brushes Boone off, and after Goth says it's now Chrissy's time to take to the streets and find a man to fuck to prove she's a goth, she says she's more into a different type of meat altogether. Not long after this fun exchange, Chrissy is seemingly passed out and is woken by a flustered Boone. Goth has left them alone, giving them a perfect time to escape. But Chrissy seems to have other plans. You see, it turns out that Goth may have been the one to kill Chrissy's sister. I know, don't leap off your chair in surprise. I know I almost did when I found out she fucking had one. During certain points in the film, Chrissy would have flashbacks to this sister, although it was kind of hard to tell. I was initially under the impression she was an ex-girlfriend or something, considering they're having a pillow fight over the age of 20 and aren't children anymore. Slowly but surely, her sister is wooed to the dark side by smoking a cigarette and gets entangled into the gothic subculture. Her last word before passing away due to being attacked by a mystery assailant was goth. Now, Chrissy has apparently been searching for her sister's killer for a while, which I think implies that her entire getup was simply a disguise in order to stealth her way into gothic clubs, trying to find this mysterious goth in a club full of goths until a goth called Goth shows up who may or may not have killed her sister. What a coincidence that this woman turned out to be a psychopathic murderer who apparently killed a random woman outside of a goth club who was there at the wrong place at the wrong time.
First kill, huh? And the first is always the best.
When was your first kill, huh?
Some girl my age. I just met her at some club, kind of like the one I met you.
I mean, she later admits she didn't kill her sister, which I think is trying to imply that it was the gothic subculture that killed her, which I'm not even going to go into how stupid that whole train of thought is. Bro, man, it was society that killed your sister. I might be a murderer, but at least I'm not rude. With Boone now understanding why Chrissy has been playing along with Goth's schemes, they both follow her into the motel where Boone saw her go. Inside is a merry sight indeed. Goth is threatening the best character in the movie, outside of Frank, of course.
Frank.
Because he's failed to pay her back 50 grand? I'm assuming this has something to do with white light, but at this point, I really don't care.
I can get it. I can get the money. I know people.
The people! Goth starts to teach Lewis a lesson by carving the word goth into Jane Doe's chest, only for Chrissy to see an opportunity to stab Goth in the back.
God!
What?
Let me finish it. I want to do it. Next time. I want to do it now.
What makes you so eager?
I've never drawn blood before.
Never? You never drew blood before. You call yourself goth?
Never go for the black lipstick option in character creators? Call yourself a goth. Never stand Lulu? Call yourself a goth. Never stand Pain Harder? Call yourself a goth. Never been down the death slide? Call yourself a goth. Cue action scene. Boone attacks Goth with a sucker punch, but it fails because Goth didn't attack first. Goth uses knockoff on Chrissy and powers herself up with a nasty plot. Lewis tries to flee, but Goth KOs him with a night slash attack. She takes down Breasts the Hedgehog with a stunning soul-stealing 7-star strike. Breasts uses Splash, but it's not very effective. Boone tries to take Goth down with his Darkest Lariat ability, but Goth's defense is far too high. Chrissy saves him with fake tears, lowering Goth's special defense and granting him the ability to escape free from harm with Goth in tow.
So, where do you want to go?
Ever heard of the Bloody Widow?
I practically live there.
So does Chrissy, apparently.
Just bland and tasteless.
The next scene is, well, it's easy enough to explain, I guess. Chrissy needs to win Goth's trust back after attempting to take her life, which is a little contradictory to her previous rules. Doesn't seem like you're living for death, does it, Goth? It seems like you were pretty fucking angry about it, actually.
Bullshit. He ain't no goth. The fucker tried to kill me.
She needs to not only draw blood, but take a human life. And this unsuspecting couple are Chrissy's first choice. The next scene is pretty boring, minus Goth being a cheeky monkey, Boone being shot by Harley Quinn over here, and of course, how can we forget?
I thought you were goth.
Shut up, will you, yeah?
Sorry.
I really fucking mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Sorry,
Shut up!
Chrissy murders one of them, gaining Goth's trust and falling even deeper into the spiraling tunnels of revenge, where she only continues the bloody cycle of murder and violence by taking an innocent life that very well could have been someone else's sister, someone else to utter the name Goth. Anyways, Dragon Quest XI's is a fantastic JRPG that's available on the Nintendo Switch, with hundreds of potential hours of gameplay and a lovable cast. If you don't own this in your collection already, then you're sorely missing out.
Very disappointed in you, Chrissy. I thought you were goth.
I am goth.
No, bitch. I am. You're dead.
Absolutely iconic. Now, for some completely unknown reason that defies all logic, Goth doesn't kill Chrissy, and instead leaves her alone in Thomas the Dank Engine, Boone nowhere to be seen. She escapes with ease and finds herself at one of the most embarrassing birthday parties I've ever seen. Knocking on the door, and who should answer it but the King of England? They mistake her for another stripper and start to bully her to take her clothes off, including the stripper for some reason. Look at her, she's loving it. Chrissy starts having flashbacks to all of the silly shenanigans that occurred over the past 8 hours, and finally snaps, releasing her gothic chakra and transforming into Chrissy with a knife. She dethrones the king and all of his subjects, only for Boone to enter the scene, wherever the fuck he's been. Chrissy, still in a blood frenzy, murders him in a cut to black, only to awaken and come to the realization of what she's done. When she finally comes outside, Goth pops out from behind a tree to tell her that she's finally Goth. She's embraced the darkness, she's killed her fear, and she's living for death. Also, why did you leave her in a van when you said you were gonna kill her like 5 seconds prior? I have a feeling like you have no idea what the fuck you're doing and are flat out improvising. Anyways, Goth said that she didn't kill Chrissy's sister and how Chrissy can't kill her because it would be like killing herself, blah blah blah. Oh dear, she's dead. Rest in Ripperoonie, my sweet summer child. And then, because there must always be a Lich King after all, the final stinger of the movie reveals that Chrissy has now transformed into Goth for absolutely no goddamn reason other than someone went, wouldn't it be cool if? Carrying on her legacy and spreading white light amongst posers and funny old men alike.
Frank.
Movie over now. Right, wow, that was an adventure. Making a video like this was definitely more of a mental detox where I could mess around for a bit and showcase something that I'm fairly sure 99% of you have never seen. I'd say I'd do something like this again if people asked for it, because truth be told, I had a lot of fun. Making entertainment is my passion, and I hope I brought a smile to your face in this incredibly weird point in human history. If you're dead set on buying Goth after watching this movie, I'd say go for it. It was incredibly cheap when I bought it, but that being said, it can be a struggle to get through at points. I had to drag some friends to watch it with me both times, and that is definitely the best way to enjoy this movie. Especially if you have any passing interest in the Gothic subculture, you and your friends will be shouting at the screen in the first 10 minutes, guaranteed. But despite all of that, there's still something quaint about this movie. Watching all of the behind the scenes and seeing how serious they were about making a film, the way they set up their props in clever, affordable ways to sidestep their budget, the fact that the actors here are professionals and genuinely want to help the director fulfill his vision. It's all incredibly charming, and that's why these low-budget movies appeal to me so much. A group of passionate people getting together with a shoestring budget and a skeleton crew to make entertainment. Even if the entertainment wasn't what they anticipated for me specifically, I was still thoroughly amused. So in some aspects, they succeeded. So grab your drinks of choice, buy some snacks, and put this on in the background of your Halloween party. Whilst not on the same level as some of the greats of So Bad It's Good, the humour comes from the lack of self-awareness. But as I said, bless the production team for bringing us this. I laughed a fair few times during this movie. If that doesn't count as entertainment, then I don't know what is. And on that note, it's time for me to go.
I don't know too much about the goth scene. It is a big movement, and with teenagers, especially now. So that's our whole audience for this movie.
Alright, there we go. Now it's time for the rambling section of this video. I'd first of all like to thank some of my patrons, those being Gold the Hero, Bryce Jackson, Cinnabar, and Eleanor Cunningham. I know I say this a lot, but it really needs repeating. You guys are helping me work for something I love, and I hope the stuff I put out is worthy enough. Thank you again so much. And this time around, I commissioned 2 artists to help me out with the thumbnail. The ever-reliable Sylphie and the extremely talented Jelly Envy, who drew up Chrissy and Goth. If you want some work that looks like either of the images on the screen, please go follow and commission them. Very talented people, you won't be disappointed. And on that note, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.